Blessings, everyone. Hello, Patricia, Michelle, and Women on the Rise. I'm Paula Douglas, and it is my delight to be here with you today talking about your topic of pursuing or cultivating the presence. This is so near and dear to my heart. It is my passion that everyone encounter God in an intimate way every single day. So it all began for me the day that I went from teaching school to being in full-time ministry. In one day, I made a very hard turn from school teaching to being in full-time ministry, going from the country club to the cow pasture. Believe it or not, in one day. I had to begin to understand unequivocally, no longer just knowing about God. Have you ever been there? To actually knowing God for myself. So just like learning to teach children in an elementary classroom, I had to learn how to cultivate the presence, practice the art of the presence of being with the living God. And that hard turn for me started just like, taking baby steps. And as I began to take baby steps towards God, soon I was toddling, wobbling a little, if you would, walking towards God. Soon I was running into God because why? Every single day I intentionally started cultivating the presence, the atmosphere. Well, I asked God about how to develop this relationship with Him. Don't you want to know what He likes, what He wants, what He will have? He's your king and my king. I want to know what the king wants. Well, I asked and He gave me a dream. Quickly, let me tell you my dream. There was an orchestra playing in a most magnificent ballroom. I was standing at the edge of the ballroom floor, the dance floor, if you will. And this gentleman came across the floor, all dressed in white linen with a gold sash around his chest, and he stuck out his hand and he said, "Waltz with me." I was totally shocked, guys. I was shocked that he would ask me to waltz with him. Wow. I looked down at my hands and I held something in my hands and I said to him, "This disqualifies me," if I can say it, disqualifies me from the dance. And you know what he said to me? He said, "Put your hand in mine." And guys, I did. And in the dream, we just began to waltz across the floor. Well, ever since I had that dream, I keep this everywhere. Big pictures, small pictures of the waltz. Can you see that? Yeah, it's a reminder for me that God wants an intimate relationship with me. So my takeaway from that dream, I actually had 3 takeaways, and I want to share those quickly with you today because I know you are talking about today cultivating the presence, developing that atmosphere where you and God are intimately entwined. First thing I realized that there must be, number 1, a desire. It's a heart thing. Look at that. It's a heart thing. You and I have to long for Him. The second takeaway from my dream was not only is there a heart thing where we long for Him, but we must lean into Him. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's number 3. Back up to number 2. It is in the stillness. I call it the pause, that we stop the busyness of life and we just focus intentionally on Him. And now let's get to number 3. It's the lean in, what I call the surrender. You and I surrender to His arms. And guess what? When we begin to surrender to Him, we can hear His whispers. So that is, we have to have a desire. We have to pause this busyness of life, and we have to lean in and surrender to Him. You may say to me, "Paula, why would I want to do that? Why do I want to cultivate the presence? Why do I want to practice the presence of being in the arms of the living God?" I'm so glad you asked. Here's why. When you and I practice cultivating the presence of the living God. It begins to be easier and easier every time we intimately spend time with Him. Now, He trusts us with His heart. And when He trusts us with His heart, He trusts us with His thoughts and His desires. Isn't that awesome? You can know exactly what God is thinking and what He desires. And wow, cultivating the presence is worth it all. Well, I've got to go, so bye for now. See you again soon. Have a blessed day.